Hello and welcome to the Crazy Knitter Studio podcast. My name is Kristen, known as Crazy Knitting Fool on Ravelry, and I'm your host. Today is Saturday, January 6, 2018, and I'm calling this episode, Well, That Was Fun, Not. So I want to welcome all new and returning viewers. Thanks for checking me out. So moving into the show, starting lineups, which are the introductions. We've had no introductions in the group. So if you want to get a shout out on the show, just come in, introduce yourself in the thread, and I will give you a shout out. So moving on to presser, weeks in review. So I was supposed to record 2 weeks ago, but things have been crazy around here. So I'll get into that in a little bit. So at the beginning of December, I went on a field trip with Little Man. We went to a local farm, Van Hoosen Farm, here in Rochester Hills, and learned a little bit about the history of the area. You know, it was really cool. I like that kind of stuff, so I was glad I went. We had fun. And then, Christmas was coming. Little Man wanted, a few things before Christmas, of course, and I kept telling him no. Well, then he decided he wanted from Santa an exercise ball. I don't know why. He thinks he's going to jump on it or something. So I kept telling him no. Can't have an exercise ball, sorry. We don't have the room for it, number one, and I don't need you cracking your head open, number two. So we had a snow day back at the beginning of December. Had quite a bit of snow, and to the point where my boss actually sent us home early in shifts so we could get home, logged back in, and then the next person could leave. So the next day, he didn't have school, so I was working from home. He was downstairs, and he comes upstairs with this little heart that he made. I actually have it at work, so I can't show it to you, but it was like, oh, and it said, "Dear Mommy, thank you for being the best mommy in the world, blah, 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 blah. I love Clark." And I was like, "Oh, buddy, that's so sweet, thank you." And he goes, "Can I have an exercise ball now?" Like, you little stinker. No, there was still no exercise ball. So, work's been nuts. Because we do tuition reimbursement and payments for tuition, the ends and the beginnings of each semester. So end of December, beginning of January, end of maybe, September, October, or August and September are always crazy. So it's been nuts. I'm actually going to be logging in for a few hours to answer a few emails, doing overtime after I'm done recording this and eating lunch. So it's nuts, but it is what it is. We know it's coming every year, so at least you know. It's kind of nice to have the predictability. For me, I like predictability, so. Then Little Man went and had his checkup for the year. He is not little anymore. He is 77 pounds. He's 9, just in case you didn't know. So he's 9. He's 77 pounds and 4 feet 9 inches tall. I have to take him to have a sleep study done, because his doctor thinks he might have sleep apnea. His tonsils are very swollen, which doesn't surprise me because I had problems with my tonsils when I was a kid too. So we might have to have those removed. He snores a little bit, not a lot, but he does snore a little bit, and he's very restless. And my brother and my sister have sleep apnea, and I think my husband does. He's just never gone and gotten tested. So I'm hoping maybe if we can have a 9-year-old do it, maybe the 53-year-old can do it. But, so, I have to arrange that. The doctor she referred us to doesn't take our insurance, so now I have to find a new doctor. So, that's fun. And then the biggest reason why I missed recording last time, I was supposed to record on the 23rd, right before Christmas. On the 22nd, Little Man got out of school on the 20th. And I couldn't find anybody to watch him on the 22nd, so I just worked from home. My husband got home early from work. He got out home about 1:30. He goes upstairs, and he had been sick. And he goes upstairs, and he gets on his breathing machine because he has asthma. And then he tells me about 15, 20 minutes later that he got a doctor's appointment at 3:30. Now, his doctor is about 45 minutes from us. So I'm like, okay. So he comes downstairs. He looks horrible. And he is like, "I think I'm going to pass out." I'm like, "Well, sit down and, I'll take you to the doctor." I'm like, "You can't drive yourself." I'm like, "Are you crazy?" So I'm like, okay. Of course, Little Man's still in his jammies. I'm still in my, I was in my track pants and everything. So I'm like, okay, like, Clark, come on, let's go upstairs and get changed. So we go upstairs, get changed really quick. And then we come back down. He's like, I'm not going to make it. We have to go to the hospital. So the hospital's like 5 minutes from our house. Okay. So he's like, I'm going to pass out. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm driving 60 and a 45 down a main road trying to get to the hospital. We get to the hospital. I'm trying to keep it together. Clark's in the back seat, hysterical, of course, because he's scared. My husband's like, just, crazy, obviously. So we get to the emergency room. We get him, we pull up, they get him in. I go park. We go in, and, little man's like, this has to be a dream. It can't be real. It can't be real. It was very scary. It was scary for me, so I can imagine it was scary for him. So he had an asthma attack. So they got him in, got him on the meds and everything. And later when we saw the doctor, when he had been admitted, he told us we had about 10 or 15 minutes and they probably would have had to intubate him. So that was frightening. So now I know never, ever to let him think that he can take care of it himself, because obviously he can't. So he was in the hospital for 2 days, which was not fun. He probably could have come home on Saturday, but when you have asthma attacks, they give you steroids, and steroids make your blood sugar go up, even in people who aren't diabetic. But obviously, if you're diabetic, it's way worse. So his blood sugar Saturday morning after he ate breakfast was over 400. So they're like, we can't let you go until we get your blood sugars under control. So he was there till Sunday. And I know they try really hard. He probably could have really stayed there another day, but they try if they can to get people out for Christmas. I know that. So he came home. It was snowing when we picked him up that afternoon. It started snowing on Christmas Eve, of course. And, it was, then we had to go to the prescriptions, get those. We had to go get lunch and all that stuff. And we get home, and it's about 2 hours after we got home. I was walking into the kitchen. I had knit socks on, and I fell very hard on my rear end. Cried, and I don't cry. I'm tough. I can take a lot of pain. It hurts. So it still hurts. It's 2 weeks later, and I'm sitting here if I'm kind of fidgety, that's why. It still hurts. I have to sit on a pillow still. It's bad. So, but then not only that, when I came home Wednesday night from knit group, it had snowed a little bit, not a lot, just a dusting, and I fell again. This time I fell forward, so I didn't land on my butt again, because that probably would have been bad. But I didn't hurt myself, thank God. I didn't break anything or anything. My wrist right here, there's a little scratch, and it hurt, but it doesn't hurt anymore. And I hurt my heel, but again, that only hurt the next day, and then by yesterday it was gone. So, but my rear end still was bothering me. So my mother always said she didn't name me Grace for a reason, and it runs in the family. My nieces, my sister, my cousin, both my nieces. Clark, we came home from we went to my dad's house on New Year's Day for brunch, and we went to Chili's for dinner on our way home. And my husband, because it's been so cold, they didn't have school yesterday because it was negative 25 with the wind chill. The air temperature was negative 3 without the wind chill. So they had no school yesterday. So it's been so cold that my husband's like, well, we had to kind of park far away. And he's like, well, I'll go get the car. You guys just wait here. And I'm looking out the window at Chili's oh, is that Daddy? And he goes to look, and he just trips over his own 2 feet. Sorry, kid. Sorry, you got the klutzy gene. Don't know what to tell you. All right, moving on into the knitting. So, first downs, I didn't finish my niece's blanket. So the first one is the Spartan blanket, which is the Hip to Be Square blanket pattern by Jennifer Baracco. It's size 8, 5.0 millimeter needles, and it is in Knit Picks Bravo worsted in Dublin, which is the green, and white, which is the white. And then I started the border, which is Karen Simply Soft in black. So that's where I was last time, the paper clip safety pin. And then I just finished that, and I don't even know. This is a big mess. Oh, here's the start of the border. So I'm just doing an I-cord border in black. It didn't get done for Christmas, obviously. But with everything else that went on, I was like, I really don't care. I love the kid, but she'll be fine. So maybe, I figure, the rate I'm going, because I'm done with it right now. I can't, I need to force myself to work on it maybe one day, like 15 minutes a day or something. I figure maybe it'll be it was supposed to be a graduation gift, and then moving into the dorm gift, and then Christmas gift. So maybe it'll be you made it through your first year of college gift. So I moved on. I was going to cast on for a shawl, but that I will discuss why I did not cast on for that shawl on New Year's Day in a segment to come. So I decided I needed to start something else. So I started the first preemie hat for the year. So my goal is to do 26 this year. I always wanted to do one a week, but I have to be realistic with the amount of knitting time I get. Every other week's probably going to even be pushing it. So, but this one I've gotten pretty far on. So this is the Grace Baby Hat by Marianne Mel. I use size 3, 3.25 millimeter needles, and the yarn is Regia Calf Facet Design Line in Mirage Storm. Oh, it's kind of hard to tell. It's got a cute little lace pattern. Just kind of hard to see in the variegated yarn, but it'll look very cute on some little preemie's head in the NICU where my niece works at the University of Michigan. So that's preemie hat number 1 for the year. So that's all that I've been working on. So moving on into touchdowns. Yeah, no, those are the FOs. None of those. Yeah. Okay, moving on into turnovers, mistakes. I have no idea why. I have the hardest time using a ball winder in a Swift. I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed and I want to go the opposite way, but it seems like every time I go to use my ball winder in Swift, something happens. So on New Year's Day, I went to wind up the yarn I wanted to use for my New Year's cast on, which is a shawl. And it's the yarn I bought at Michigan Fiber Fest. And this is what happened. I said, I hope this is not an indication of how my year is going to go. Because I don't think I can handle that. I don't know. It got all, well, I don't know. Maybe somebody can, like, I don't know. Maybe I need ball winding 101. Like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed and I'm doing something the opposite way that I'm supposed to.